It is time now for the Peter Channel 5 o'clock news on this Thursday evening, September 8th, 2016. Good evening, everybody. I am Peter Wiggins, and I your 5 o'clock news. And on the top with the 5 o'clock hour is in chart where Hillary Clinton and Alicia joined attacks against Donald Trump's parents to be a commander-in-chief and questioned his patriotism Thursday morning hours after NBC Forum exposed their opponent to criticism on multiple fronts. U.S. Special Operations Force spotted an successful mission to rescue two American University of Afghanistan professors kidnapped in Kabul last month after the early mission was aborted when the White House suspended his approval. Defense. One female student shot and wounded another before fatally shooting herself Thursday morning, the Western Texas Alpine High School sheriff said. Wells Fargo Bank went to the nation's largest bank submitted with $185 million in civil penalties for secretly opening bills that requires depositing credit card accounts that harm customers, federal state officials said on Thursday. In a make-or-break moment, Gary Johnson broke through an interview in which Johnson would later say he bitterly blanked the Libertarian Party presidential nominee on Thursday, flubbed the question on the Syrian civil war. What is Aleppo? Gaza City for the first time in a decade. Voters here are going to the polls next month. They were sacked, but after Thursday decided to suspend the campaign, many said they were felt robbed. Washington, the urban battle to retake Iraq's second largest city from Islamic State militants that will unfold in the next 2 or 3 months will be long and difficult, head of defense intelligence agency said Thursday. Jerusalem was president of Palestine. Mohammed Abbas, a Soviet spy in the 80s, a report Wednesday night by Israel's Channel 1 news seemed to indicate that he was a KGB agent for a period of time, although the Palestinian authorities very quickly. Speaking at Johnson Smith University in Charlotte, North Carolina, the Democratic presidential candidate said it was a time to put the country above party lines. Shimon, France. Workers launched a high altitude rescue 10,000 feet over eastern France on Thursday when more than 100 people came trapped into the cable car. Officials said Seoul, North Korea is expected to stockpile deadly chemical weapons. Ramallah, West Bank, the Palestinian headquarters of Justice spending multiple elections in the West Bank against the dispute between Fatah and Hamas. Seoul, the United States, South Korea, and Japan have started a new initiative to share military intelligence on North Korean ballistic missiles. Washington. Federal prosecutors announced Thursday that they will not retry former Virginia Governor Bob McDonnell on corruption charges and will drop charges against his wife, Maureen McDonnell. The U.S. flag famously hosted a 9/11 long lost and recently recovered now at the National September 11 Memorial Museum. The Sentai Zoo was evacuated on Thursday after reports of a suspicious package. The top Democrat in the House Committee investigating Democratic presidential candidate Hillary Clinton's use of the private email system and released an email exchange Wednesday between former Secretary of State Colin Powell and Clinton. Washington. Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump unveiled a $20 billion initiative to enable children from poor families to choose which school they will attend. Washington. Homeland Security Secretary Jed Johnson said federal efforts to help states secure their online election systems are not a federal takeover of elections. Cairo. Egyptian Prime Minister Sheikh Islam banned all unenforced public art after a string of amateur statues and sculptures appeared. Washington. U.S. Department of Justice reporter has found ATF agents broke federal laws permitting discrimination against people with disabilities while undercover. The largest terminal operator of Port of New York and New Jersey and Left Orange Giant Simpson are asking the U.S. bankruptcy court to allow shippers to cover terminal charges owed by Hanjin shipping in order to retrieve billions of dollars. Apple went on U.S. stocks Thursday after TechCrunch unveiled the new iPhone 7 that failed to impress Wall Street. Period 1 imports shares most in the 9 months fell after the home furniture retail said its second quarter loss would be wider than expected. Chief Executive Officer Alex Smith announced plans to retire by the end of the year. KLC Poland. Maine's International Postcode Group as the General are partnering in the bid for the Polish missile defense contract. Washington. Regulators have fined Wells Fargo Bank nearly $200 million of the scam that opened in millions of fake accounts and meat quotas and during bonus officials said. St. Petersburg. Russian shipbuilder JSC and Military verified to construct 6 new submarines for the Russian Navy. Left-wing Wiggins. Saab has developed Lebanon air defense missiles to Latvia. The most basic thing you to know about giraffes is wrong. In fact, there are 4 species of giraffe, not one scientist announced today. The Southern giraffe, the Maasai giraffe, the reticulated giraffe, and the Norman giraffe. Los Angeles, after more than a year of political battle, the Governor Bill Governor Jerry Brown signed 2 bills into law Thursday to mark suspending California's plan to reduce greenhouse gas emissions while also providing increased oversight by the effort. SpaceX is leading the investigation and caused a massive rocket explosion just last week. A probe that involves some 20 people in the industry, NASA, the Air Force, and Federal Aviation Administration. Pictures from Brazil are heartbreaking. Baby after baby born with a small head and damaged brain after an attack by the Zika virus during pregnancy. London, United Kingdom, the addition of vitamin D supplements and standard asthma medication can lead to fierce severe asthma attacks in patients with mild to moderate asthma, according to the new Cochrane review. Stanford engineers are hitting the brakes on and driving under the influence of marijuana and a roadside device that can tell whether someone's too stoned to be behind the wheel. There's a very weird thread we're picking out Donald Trump's comments during NBC's Commander-in-Chief forum on Wednesday night. Meanwhile, Trump says it offer a readout of some confidential national security briefings that set off an alarm bells in the intelligence community while some high-profile former officials warned in the rain on the nominee crossed the red line. After 2 weeks of world gigging in the subject of immigration, Donald Trump plotted on Monday and NBC that could. He's all about jobs now, and Republican National Committee Chairman Reince Priebus Hillary Clinton was a first aiming to not found during a national security forum. Okay, take a look at some local news in Mansfield. Maybe your mind missed the Mansfield area, but when a hurricane of a natural disaster does hit, the town will be ready, as that's the judgment of the National Weather Service, which recently certified Mansfield as a storm-ready community. Fire Chief Neil Boudry said that most of the criticals members of all volunteer Mansfield Emergency Management Agency will train and prepare, continuing to respond to disasters and emergency support firefighters and first responders at fires and accident scenes. These expect folks who work full-time jobs and then come to end and do their best to see what will be prepared. The more than 20 volunteers maintain and prepare equipment in town with need for disaster and provide water, high energy snacks, and relief supplies to the firefighters of major incidents. Naughton, the busy and dangerous intersection of Route 123 and north-western streets in the western part of the town could get a traffic signal. Mansfield, commuters can continue to pocket a lot formula provider. Cleveland Twist and Drill Factory, at least for now. Springfield, a Springfield man is headed to prison after admitting his role in the fatal shooting 2 years ago. The Republican reports that 23-year-old Travis Perkins was sentenced Wednesday to 24 to 26 years behind bars. He pleaded guilty to voluntary manslaughter to firearms counts. His co-defendant, 23-year-old Brent Slater Springfield, also pleaded guilty to voluntary manslaughter on Wednesday the day the prior trial was expected to start. His sentence is scheduled for September 21st. Paul Maine, a Republican lawmaker, Maine has apologized for sending an insulting email to a Massachusetts woman who criticized him and offers for not holding Governor Paul LePage accountable of recent actions. Alright, now look at here. Closing stock market report at 5:07 p.m. on this Thursday evening, and take a look at the stocks. The Dow down 46.23 to 18.49.91. SP 5 down 4.86 at 2181.30, and Nasdaq down 24.44 at 5,259.48. European markets DAX down 37.69 at 10,675.29, and FTSE up 12.12 at 6858.70. CAC down 54.46 at 4,542.20. Nikkei down 53.67 at 6958.77. Shanghai up 4.67 at 3,096.69. HSI up 177.53 at 23,919.34. Oil markets up 1.81 at 47.31. Brent 1.72 at 49.70. And natural gas 2.80 at 124,000 points up. Gold markets 1341.69 7.60 points. Silver 19.69 down 158,000 points. And copper 2.0995 up 2,000 points. In the bonds, US 10-year yield 1.601% up 62,000 points. Bond 10-year yield up 6,000 points at 5.5%. And Japanese 10-year yield up 3,000 points at 3.8%. And on the FX bond, European US dollar 1.1262 up 4,000 points. And US dollar Japanese yen 102.46 down 2 cents. And Great Britain pound US dollar 1.3298 up 4,000 points. Okay, look at some commodities. Wheat 4.5 up 2 3/4. Soybean 9.76 3/4, up $1.25. Corn 3.38 up 4 3/4. Sugar 20.21 down 8 cents. Coffee 154.95 down 15 cents. Cotton 69.26 down 28 cents. Red rice 9.54 down 2 cents. And cocoa 2008.55 down 54. Live cattle 11.375 down $1.05. In ounce 60.975 up 10 cents. And 50 cattle 120.55 down $2.20. Okay. Peter Children time is 5:09 on this Thursday evening, and it's time out for Sport Report. Salts of the night off. The Cleveland Indians beat the Houston Astros 10-7. The regular season fell upon us, which means England, Colorado, once the free agent negotiation period opened in March, John Elway knew his quarterback in the future of the Broncos probably in the past. Jason Stark thinks it very difficult to believe the Mets' decision of TMT with a minor league contract was just a baseball decision, calling a remarkable opportunity. Send Claire California for San Francisco 49ers running back Carlos Hyde built the week one of the 2016 regular season feels awfully familiar. Peter Children's Times, 5:10 on this Thursday evening, and it's time now for a traffic and transit report. Let's study off on the MBTA, where on the MBTA subway system it's looking good, and on the commuter rail it's looking good, and on the ferries they are looking good. Alright, let's look at the highways and byways of the 6-state New England region on this Thursday evening rush hour commute, and study off down in Connecticut, where 95 on the southbound side is backed up from Bridgeport all the way down to Stamford, Connecticut, and the northbound side of 95. 95 southbound side back to the Greenwich to Port Chester, New York. 95 both ends back to the West Haven to 91 to New Haven. Merritt Parkway and the northbound side is back to from Stamford all the way to Bridgeport, and then breaks to the westbound side from Hampton on to New Haven. 84 eastbound side is 7 Griffin, then right on to Newtown, and hit breaks again after Waterbury Search after Route 8. Route 91 and southbound side is back up around 691. Merritt Parkway, nope, Route 9 and both ends is back down to the middle of town stretch. And 84 both ends is backed up from Hartford down on to New Britain. 91 both ends back to 291 to Glastonbury, Connecticut. 84 both ends backed up down to Hartford. 291 eastbound side is backed up 91 Hartford to 291 on Route 5 in South Windsor. And down in southeastern Connecticut, 95 is looking good from Madison down to the Connecticut Rhode border. 395 looking good from New London all the way up to Webster. At Western Massachusetts, 91 is backed up in both ends from 57 to 291 in Springfield. 291 on the northbound side it is backed up from 20 to Route Massachusetts, turn back up in Ludlow. 9 up in central Massachusetts, 290 on the westbound side is backed up from Shrewsbury off to Worcester. At Rhode Island, 146 southbound side backed up 1595. 95 southbound side is backed up and protected to downtown Providence. 95 on the northbound side back on the Wark all the way out to Cranston. 95 southbound side it's backed up from Pawtucket all the way out to downtown Providence and Cranston. 195 westbound side is back to 114A in Seekonk to downtown Providence. 295 southbound side back to Johnson Route 12 in Cranston. 295 on the northbound side back to mine 37 in Cranston. 37 on the westbound side is back to the Cranston stretch. Out in the Cape, 28 both ends is backed up after the Bourne Bridge to Otis Air Force Base. 95 on the southbound side is back to 128 Captain to Route 295 out of Attleboro. 24 southbound side is back to 128 to Route 139 Stoughton, and then hit breaks again from 485 and Raynham all the way out to Berkeley. Route 3 southbound side back to the Marshfield stretch. Out in Mass back to the westbound side is backed up in the also Barton Toll all the way at Route 146 in Millbury. 128 on the southbound side is backed up from 135 and Needham all the way to the Braintree Split. 128 southbound northbound side. It's back on the Braintree Split all the way at the Route 24 at Randolph. Southeast Expressway 7 go from the Pike down to the Braintree Split. 92 both ends. Downtown Boston is backed up. Mass back both ends back to South Boston and the Logan Airport. 93 on the northbound side. It is backed up in the Zachem Bridge all the way at the Route 128 Reading. Route 20 eastbound side is backed up from 16 Belmont all the way at the Fresh Pond Parkway in Cambridge. 128 southbound side back to Waltham on Route 9 in Wellesley. 128 on the northbound side back to Wellesley all the way out. Waltham all the way up in the Peabody. 128 southbound side back to Beverly on the Peabody. Route 29 on the northbound side. It is backed up from Merrilton all the way up into Chelmsford. 495 is backed up from Westport all the way out to Route 30 Tewksbury. 495 southbound side back from Tewksbury down to Lowell. 495 on the northbound side. It is backed up from 93 Lawrence all the way up into Haverhill. 93 on the northbound side is backed up from 495 in Lawrence all the way up into Methuen. And in Southern New Hampshire, 93 on the northbound side back to Durham, New Hampshire. 101 on the westbound side back to Manchester, New Hampshire. Spawning turnabout northbound side back up to 95 in Portsmouth. 93 on the northbound side is back to the Cork, New Hampshire. Up in Maine, it's looking good. And up in Vermont, 89 and 91 on the southbound side is backed up after the U.S. border, Canadian border up in Vermont. 91 on the northbound side, it is backed up before the Canadian border up in Vermont. 87 on the southbound side is backed up around Route 11 up in Champlain, New York, and all the way 15 and 55 backed up after the U.S. border up in Southern Quebec. And 87 on the northbound side back to Silver Springs. 689 westbound side back to the Thrury down to the Thrury and Schenectady. 87 on the northbound side it is backed up from the Thrury all the way up to Troy, and 787 is backed up from the Thrury all the way up to Troy. And 91 on both ends is backed around Heidelberg. Vermont around Route 5. And Route 2 westbound side, back to the Fort Timmins. Computer channel news time is now 5:13 on this Thursday evening, and it's total for a weather report. Current conditions here in North Massachusetts and degrees with a humidity of 73%, and it's 83 heat index. 70 is a dew point, and barometer 20 to 38 inches is falling slow, and wind speed is calm to the east. Okay, look at that. Current conditions around the region at the 5 o'clock hour. It's 72 degrees in Logan and Boston. It's 75 out in Beverly. It's 75 out in Marshfield. It's 79 out in Falmouth. 72 out in Chatham and Provincetown. It's 82 in Norwood and Taunton. 81 out in Concord. 75 in Beverly. It's 82 in Fitchburg. 79 in Worcester. 81 in Providence. 79 in Quonset. It's 88 in Hartford and Springfield. It's 82 in Orange. It's 84 in Bridgeport. A1 in Groton. It's A2 in Bennington, Vermont. A4 in Keenan, Concord, and Nashville, New Hampshire. It's A1 in Jeffrey, New Hampshire, and it's 76 in Boston, New Hampshire. It's 73 degrees up in Portland, Maine. Alright, look at that. The national map, and it shows a low pressure off the New England coast as part of the remnants of Hermine. Front stretching from the Crown Coast up into New England, and another front down to western Texas, and a warm stationary front from the Rockies down to Colorado. Remember, cold front from Colorado stretching up into the Great Lakes, and low pressure in California, clashing with high pressure in Oregon, and low pressure off the California Pacific coast, and high pressure ridges in the Four Corner region and the Gulf states, and hot weather in the mid-south is coming to us tomorrow, and low pressure up in the northern Rockies, and high pressure in the plains and the Colorado Rockies. It's 81 degrees out in Detroit, 85 in Pittsburgh, it's 86 in New York City, it's 96 in Washington, D.C., 91 in Atlanta, 85 in Miami, Florida, it's 94 in Brownsville and Dallas, Texas, it's 79 out in Kansas City, 79 in Chicago, 77 in Minneapolis, St. Paul, 82 in Omaha, Nebraska, it's 61 out in Great Falls, Manhattan, 79 in Salt Lake City and Albuquerque, New Mexico, 86 in Denver, 89 in Phoenix, Arizona, 92 in Las Vegas, it's 64 in Seattle, 70 in San Francisco, and 72 degrees out in Los Angeles, California. Okay, let's take a look. Alright, let's take a look at the radar. And it shows a line of rain showers stretching from eastern Quebec, and a lines of showers of thunderstorms stretching from Champlain, New York, and stretching down through New York State, and stretching to northwestern Pennsylvania, south of Erie, and down for north central Ohio between Cleveland and Columbus. And some rain showers stretching from Waterville, Maine, stretching all the way up in Holton, Maine, and up in the eastern ports of New Brunswick and around Nova Scotia. A lot of rain showers in western Quebec. And take a look at radar around the country, and it shows the lines of showers and some thunderstorms stretching all the way down for the Ohio Valley, down to Missouri, down for Kansas, and lines of showers and storms from Mississippi, down for Louisiana, down for southeastern Texas, and patchy rain showers around Florida. And patchy showers and storms from North Dakota, stretching into Montana, and then up in the western British Columbia, Alberta, and Saskatchewan. And a line of showers from northeastern Ontario down for western Quebec. Okay, let's take a look at the satellite loop, and it shows line of clouds from the northern New England and Canadian towns stretching all the way down to the Missouri and down to Kansas, a part of this front. That will bring us some hot weather and bring some storms tonight, and some line of clouds from North Dakota stretching into Montana and coming up to Canadian western provinces. And a line of clouds from northeastern portions of Mexico, and a line of clouds from Florida down to Cuba, and a line of clouds around the Gulf states. Alright, let's take a look at the tropics. And we got two disturbances in the tropics. A large but distant area of disturbed weather located about 600 miles southwest of the Cabo Verde Islands associated with a westward moving tropical wave. Typical system during the next couple of days. If anything likely to be slow, however, conditions are forecast to become favorable in early next week, and tropical could form an open central Atlantic while the system moves northwestward. And formation chance for hours. Low 10% formation chance for 5 days. Medium 60%. And Air showers and thunderstorms look bad. 2 to 4 hours east of the Northern Lebanon's pressure remains high in the area. No signs of surface circulation during the next few days. The system is expected to move toward the west-northwest, where conditions are not favorable for significant development. Formation chance for 4 hours. Low 10%. Formation chance for 5 days. Low 20%. And the eastern northern Pacific, a body of low pressure associated with the tropical wave is located about 700 miles south of Venezuela, Mexico. The system is going to be producing a large, but there's not airs and showers and thunderstorms. However, environmental conditions are expected to be expected for a gradual development and tropical depression likely to form by early next week, while the low moves west northwest at 10 and 50 miles an hour. Formation chance for 4 hours. Low 10%. Formation chance for 5 days. High 70%. Okay, let's take a look at the forecast discussion for tomorrow. That circulation of our minds, remnants were moving northeast parts Cape Cod during the mid-afternoon. A cold front will cross the region tonight with a weekly bed of showers and perhaps a few thunderstorms. This will be followed by a very warm to borderline hot afternoon Friday, and most seasonal pattern should extend from this weekend in the midweek with a series of cold fronts sweeping. Cold be looking in the early taste of the autumn by late next week. The center of our minds, remnants are about 30 miles east of Chatham during the mid-afternoon. These remnants will move farther northeast, parting our vicinity later this evening. Winds have turned west for the most part, with a few lingering onshore winds at the coast. The expectation is that winds will become more west and eventually south to southwest. This should prevent most areas from developing low clouds and fog. Like last night, the expectation should be across the coastal plain of Rhode Island and southeast Massachusetts. The surface drill is expected to move across southern New England overnight as well. The present time will move to the vicinity of the Interstate 95 corridor in Massachusetts on towards the daybreak and play humidity to somewhat precipitation. However, there is only a weak short way to provide lift. In addition to this drill, instability would be marginal best and will mention only an isolated risk of the thunderstorm, and the forecast scattered showers will be more likely than thunderstorms. Temperatures will remain above normal due to high humidity. Alright, 7-day forecast goes like this. Tonight, chance of showers and sun may between 10 p.m. and 1 a.m. Punch rate decibel up to 10 p.m. wise. Most skies got a little about 30 degrees. Light south wind. Chance of 30%. Friday, punch about 4 9 a.m. wise. Punch skies about 90 degrees. What's about 6 miles an hour. Friday night, punch back up to 4 a.m. wise. Punch skies got about 63 degrees. Calm wind. For Saturday, slight chance of showers. Celsius to pulse about to 2 p.m. Punch skies got about 78 degrees. Light variable wind coming. Southeast about 6 miles an hour. Chance of 20%. Saturday night, chance of showers. Celsius. Both skies got about 68 degrees. South about 5 to 7 miles an hour. Chance of 40%. Sunday, chance of showers. Celsius made up before noon. Punch skies got about 81 degrees. Chance of 40%. Sunday night, most skies got about 54 degrees. Monday, Sunday, most skies got about 76 to about 55 degrees. Tuesday, Sunday, most skies got about 80 about 61 degrees. And for Wednesday, 4% chance of showers. Most skies got about 79 about 53 degrees. And for Thursday, Sunday got about 70 degrees. Pairs, what a phrase of the day. Showers in the overnight and hot Friday. Pairs, hope you have a good evening and goodbye. I'll see you at 11 o'clock for a late night report. Hope you have a good evening.